With the apparel, the challenge was trying to find a colour palette that told that sort of, I don't know, Daisy Age, acid house kind of story that wasn't going to alienate the existing Spezial kind of customer base and what they're used to buying. So it was a balancing act between introducing a few kind of bright pastel colours in, but also having a few base kind of more neutral navy white pieces like we tend to go for. And I wanted to sort of reflect the kind of the spirit of those times, you know, because it was very much about people getting together, regular kids getting together and being unified. And I think that's an important thing to remember, an important message. With the cordial track pant, again, it's the Adidas Bluebird with the white tape on the zippers in the pockets. Cuff bottoms, it needed to be cuff bottoms. Brightly coloured jogging pants were quite a thing around then, so I wanted to sort of reflect that by making sure that the bottom of the pants were cuffed. These are a lighter weight than the jogging pants that me and my friends were wearing back then, which were a lot of the time were kind of a heavier weight fleece, but which is pretty impractical in high summer in Ibiza. But I guess we bought them for the colours and not the practicality. The Brumler smock, this piece is catering more to the traditional look of Spezial. I try to create new outerwear pieces. We've created a few that have become, I guess, quite iconic now. Things like the green Aslington and the Horwich. I'm forever having people chasing me now who didn't buy them at the time, sending me DMs on Instagram saying, where can I find this jacket now? And so we always try to work on a piece of outerwear. We've not done a smock before. We went for the oversized box logo on the chest, which has worked well on outerwear before. You've got the 2 pouch pockets. Also got the zippers up the side seams so you can get the smock on and off easier. And then under the armpit you've got the 3 eyelets, because all great things come in 3s. With the intact short, with it being a summer range, you wanted to work on a short that was kind of practical. Fly fronted, a little bit of box logo branding on the back. We had a lot of back and forth about a pair of shorts because it was, do we go for an oversized fit on the shorts as well as the tee? But we opted to keep them a more regular fit because we felt it was more in keeping with 2018 and works equally as well. You've got the mod trefoil patch signing off at the bottom of the left leg. So in keeping with the colour palette of the collection, we've got this mod trefoil sweat. The mod trefoil was a graphic that none of us could have predicted what would happen with it. I mean, it was used on a patch on a piece of knitwear in the first Spezial collection, and kind of was adopted as the unofficial brand mark of Spezial. I'm constantly being sent images of people who make stickers and banners to take to football with this particular graphic on it. So it seems to be something that people have taken to their hearts. We tried this in a couple of colourways. I tried to play it safe and go for a navy white colourway. But when we saw what it came back like in this pink, it was a no-brainer really. And it just works with the story and the colour palette. So yeah, really pleased with how that came out. The Finnington hoodie, this again was a product that came as a result of public demand, I guess. We did a navy blue hoodie a few seasons ago and did a tryout version of it. What happened was I gave that sample to Liam Gallagher. I didn't really think about the fact that he was going to go out and be photographed publicly in it, but sure enough he was, and then I was inundated with people asking where they could purchase it from. It wasn't available, so it was a sample, but I made a decision to, due to the amount of requests I had for it, to build it into this range. So this is a Finnington hoodie. Finnington named after a barn in Blackburn where a number of the acid house parties were held, one which was famously flooded out by Blackburn Fire Brigade because they couldn't get us out of there. It's got 3 eyelets under the arm, double-ended zipper. You've got this contrast white tape on the zipper, also zip pockets. there's nothing worse than open hoodie pockets. You know, it's kind of impractical. You end up losing your phone. Finally, it's arrived. You've also got the mod trefoil on the zipper. Yeah, nice basic, easy piece. The set end tee. We did a set end shoe a number of years ago. The set end was a club in Blackburn where people would meet outside to drive in a convoy to the illegal acid house parties. The motto in 1988 in Blackburn was "Parties for the people, by the people," which is exactly what it was. It wasn't driven by profit and greed and prestige, people trying to make themselves famous. It was people doing something for the sake of doing it. It was something that brought people together, and we wanted to try and reflect the optimism of that time, but also the Adidas graphics that were being produced at that time in the design of this. So you've got this kind of Balearic graphic on the back, which was kind of designed by Gary Watson on the back of a number of different Adidas graphics of that time that we pulled together. We probably did about 20 different versions of this. There was a version that had the trefoil kind of used almost like a flower, which would never have cleared legal. There were also ones that had 1988 and 2018 built into them. Loads of different colour iterations of it as well. God knows how many versions of it we did, but we finally settled on this one. The front of the tee, you've got the classic Adidas box logo on the front, and then you've got this detail in the neckline here. It's a heavyweight cotton, and the fit of it is very much reflective of that time, kind of oversized. You know, you've got the little split seam here as well. Tape in the back of the neck. But yeah, it's one of the real statement pieces of the collection. So this is a cardinal track top, double-ended zipper. You've got the white tape on the zipper, box logo here. You've got the printed mod trefoil there in the lining. And then the piece de resistance of this track top is this Gary Watson design graphic on the back here, which is this kind of Balearic looking scene with the SPZL, which ties in with the graphic on the Finnington tee. The whole idea of Spezial is about creating a modern collection. I felt that if this had been a period piece, this probably would have been in colour, but I just felt it was just kind of putting it on there tonally, said what it needed to say, and just gave it this, I don't know, slightly more, dare I say, sophisticated look. Super lightweight for summer, great piece. So this is the Lives the Anorak, going with this pistachio mint colourway. You've got the mod trefoil patch here, box logo. The hood kind of folds away, collar comes down, and this colourway is, you know, it's kind of a big part of the story. Ties in really well with these Glenbook SPZL shoes. This is almost like one of the defining looks of this season's range. Also works really well with the padiums. Found this interesting detail on it was an old coach jacket in the Adidas archive, which this flap that comes across the neck here. Yeah, inside the garment it's really nice as well. You've got all these kind of bound edges inside. Very summery. Very acid house. The Finnington tee, like the set end tee, is referential of acid house. It's just a basic graphic tee but marries up really well with the Finnington hoodie. Nice and easy, nothing too complicated. And last but not least, if we're going to talk about spring summer, you know, the theme of the collection being a nod to acid house, but also about, you know, a nod to Ibiza and the whole Balearic thing that was going on over there. We had to do the beach towel. When I would go on holiday with my mates, we would take a banner with us, which somebody had somehow acquired from a club called Manhattan Heights in Blackburn, where they used to do a night called Hacienda Blackburn. It was the first time the Hacienda did a night, a regular night, outside of the Hacienda club itself. To my knowledge, I think it was the first club that Sasha ever DJ'd in. And somehow this banner ended up in one of my mates' possessions. So when we would go on holidays, it would kind of go over the balcony. And I'm forever seeing images of banners with the mod trefoil on it So thought it would be a nice kind of tongue-in-cheek nod to the people that make those banners to create a beach towel. I'm sure if I end up in somewhere warm in Europe this summer and see one of those hanging over a balcony, it's going to put a big smile on my face.